Hi friends, now today I have the honor of introducing to you Dr. Apratim Roy Choudhury. He is ranked 26 NEETPG this year, and considering the number of students who have sat in this exam, it is an awesome performance. Probably he will be West Bengal rank 1 or probably 2, 1 or 2, and this is a very significant achievement. How are you feeling today?
Sir, I'm feeling great. The feeling is yet to sink in. And I'm feeling more awesome meeting with you and Deepti ma'am.
It's totally my pleasure. So when you saw your result, what was your first feeling?
Sir, I checked it around 10 to 15 times and I made my mom recheck it around 10 to 15 times.
Did you use magnifying glass to check the PDF?
Yeah, that's what I did.
I know. But it is a result of a long drawn hard work that you've done.
Sir, actually, I must say that you should begin your study from first year or second year when you are doing your MBBS only. And it's not about the MCQs, it is more about reading the subject, understanding the concepts, and if you understand, you will remember it for a longer period of time. And when you do the MCQs, you can apply them in a better fashion. And I believe this is what people should do. You must read, understand, and then try to apply.
And that is very important. Many times I've seen people who are in second year or first year, they start thinking of PG entrance and they buy some guidebooks, they start doing MCQs. But I feel at that stage probably understanding would have been more better approach rather than directly going to MCQs.
Understanding from textbooks. You need not need to read Gray for anatomy. You can read Gray students and you can use Netter's Atlas. That is good enough. Gray students and Netter's Atlas. That is good. But you should be using some textbook, maybe BDC. That's it. Not just notes. And
then you joined us for your 2-year foundation course in DAMS in Kolkata, and then you followed it up with a test and discussion. So how was your experience when you came to DAMS for the first time for foundation? You got to know about that, okay, this is how the competition works, this is the PG entrance thing. So how did it feel?
So the classes were very good. I understand that there were long classes taking around 10 to 12 hours. It was tiring, maybe, but the classes were very good, and the teachers focused more on making you understand the concepts rather than just rote learning. Especially, I must mention Partho sir, like I did for micro, and it is very difficult to understand micro, but once you understand micro, you can apply the concepts. And this is they made you understand the subject rather than just jotting down the MCQ points and the topics like that.
With God's grace, most of our teachers are they are legends, specialists and super specialists in their own field, and they actually love their field.
Yeah.
It's like they talk about Dr. Partha, and he's he loves microbiology. If you ask him, he loves microbiology. So if you love it, then probably your delivery would be different.
Yeah.
And I think that is true for anything in the world. I would like to advise to all youngsters also that if you do anything with love and passion, probably you will become a legend in that.
Thank you, sir.
And Apratim, also I want to know that a lot of students listening to you today want to know that what role did making notes in the class and understanding in the class played in your rank today?
When you are attending the class, listen to the teachers, what they are trying to tell you, and once you understand it, you write your understanding into the copy, not what they have written and copy it like that. You write your understanding in your copy, and when you have written it, you go back home, and if you cannot manage it that day, you can do it on the next day or the next week or some time. And once you do it now, you will remember it and you can apply it. So attending classes and attending them attentively is important rather than just going and
yes, it's very important. Look at a class as a place where you have to do most of your learning. So you don't try to write it down, just try to listen to the teacher, understand, interact. Then what he said in his language, you can actually convert it into your words and write it down fully.
You remember your understanding more than the teacher's words. Yes. That's it.
But it is very important. But to learn in the class, don't be a somebody who's a
passive learner. More important is active learning.
Yes. And plus, I've seen some people, they become like just the stenographer. They're just writing. That is not right. You have to be there in the class, be engaged. That is very important. Then once that part is done, we have understood that your initial part of the journey was understanding in the class, making notes, referring to standard textbooks where possible, looking at images from Netters, Atlas, and good quality resources to look at the images. And then, but did you also utilize testing that we do, like the class test, the SWT?
Well, I used used to give the class tests. I used to give almost all the SWTs, and more importantly, which everyone should giving as much as possible, is the GTs. And I believe that GT you shall start giving GTs by June or July, and not cluster them in the month of November.
Yes.
If you start giving June and July, you can gradually see your graph improving. And if you cluster them in November, you don't learn anything. You just give them. So you should start at an earlier date. May not be syllabus, maybe 50% complete, 40% complete, or whatever it is, maybe 80% complete, but you should start giving them. Once you start giving them, you know where to focus even in the notes. And for images, I will say that you can use for anatomy, you can use Netta or Students' Race.
Yes.
For Path, Robbins is good. For radiology, you can use Radiopedia. They have, or Google, they have good images. And yeah, these are the 3 subjects where images are mostly clustered, right?
Yes.
Microbiology, you can.
Yeah. Plus, I would like to add here is that, it's very, very important to understand that, testing is something which you will not like. It is not it's not a pleasurable activity, but it is must to do. Understand? I hope, students listening to us are able to follow this today, that everybody tends to push tests towards the end. I'll do it in the end. I'll do it in the end. In the end, it becomes so clustered that it becomes a non-doable task. Better to, make yourself disciplined and tell that, okay, I am a disciplined man. I'll give test as scheduled. I will try to do test as scheduled, so that in the end, they are not cluttered. And then he has actually beautifully explained, you will be able to see your graph improving. And that will give you confidence that, okay, I'm doing well. I was in April at this point, in June I reached at this point, and that will give you confidence.
The absolute is not necessary. The relative improvement is more important.
I always say that it is like progress which is more important than perfection. Probably perfection will not be achieved, but progress will take you places. That is the way to go about it. And if you notice his approach, if you notice a change in his approach in MBBS years, he was more about concepts. But in internship, he was more about tests. So that is important actually. That is important. You have to see the change. In the exam appearing year, you have to add tests to your armamentarium. You can't just say that I will avoid tests, I will give them in November. Your state of mind will be something else. You will not be able to do so many tests.
And one thing I'd like to add, do PSM well, do the biostats part well. There is a book called Stats Myths Easy or something by Dr. Rajiv Shetty, sir, who teaches us PSM. That book is good. That has explained PSM well. That book is not very popular, I know, but it is a game changer, I believe.
I would like to add here is that PSM is something that students, again, it's not like your favorite subject, but it will make you, if you make it favorite, you will do well in your PG entrance exam. It has a good number of questions.
Biostats and epidemiology is more focused upon, and those parts are based on understanding than rote learning. Health programs is rote learning. I don't think examiners focus more on health programs. They focus more on biostats and epidemiology. A considerable amount of question comes from
that's probably a global phenomenon. Everywhere in the world, as an undergraduate, we want you to know a bit about biostatistics. As a postgraduate, later on, we want you to know even more, because you will gradually be doing some research work, thesis work, and we also want you to know the epidemiology. That is this, everybody, and you can understand those. Good number of questions. It has good number of questions in the exam.
It has good number of questions.
And another subject that we can add here would be Obs and Gynae, probably. Obs and Gynae PSM put together are contributing good questions.
OBGY is a separate topic, separate subject, 30 questions.
30 questions, big number.
And you can get 30, 27, 28 correct. Because you can't get medicine, many questions correct. Medicine is always difficult. But medicine is like an ocean. You can't manage it. But OBGY, you can manage it.
PSM definitely
you can manage it. These are short subjects. You should focus on them.
Actually, they are long subject as far as the question goes, but the content is limited. That is good. I would say radiology is a short subject and skin is short. But what happens is sometimes, the reason we are bringing all these points up is because I've seen sometimes students, they focus on one subject too much. And they, and that subject is usually the one they like.
And that's most probably medicine mostly.
Yeah, and PSM they are ignoring. But in the end, PSM is going to determine who is going to do medicine PG or not. Yeah, it is very important to like all that. And it's good points that you brought up here. I also want to know from you about the CBT experience. That once you were done with the grand test, then you finally reached the exam centers in CBT, simulated environment. How did it feel?
CBT examinations were simulating the environment, and I must say the centers which were appointed for CBT, at least in Kolkata, they were very good. The net connection, the computers, whatever they used, this was very good. And CBT 1 was on a bit of a tougher side, maybe because it was before AIMS. But CBT 2, it actually simulated the exam, and it had the 3 parts ABC, which was also in the real exam. And you can guess about how much time you should devote in each part, because part C is 150 questions, and if you have less time, then that becomes difficult, because in this year NEET also part C was the difficult portion, or the portion which you have to think on.
It's a very good point that is brought up, that this NEET exam has 3 parts. We did this in CBT 2 also, we divided into 3 parts, but these are not 3 equal parts.
Yeah.
It is very, very important to understand. Otherwise, you will mess up your time management. Part C is the longest.
Longest part.
So you keep this in mind. Don't think that these are 3 equal parts. Part A is actually the smallest. Part B becomes longer, and part C is the longest.
Yeah.
So what happens is, if you think they are equal, you will put in more time at A and at C you will struggle. So keep this in mind. It's a good point that he's raised up. And then I also want to know from you, like, did you utilize the e-learning app that we have, eMedicos, for the previous paper discussions and mop-ups?
I saw the mop-ups of Sachin sir and Dipti ma'am in psychopharmacology, sleep and contraceptives. I saw them, and eMedicos, I saw the previous year's NEET paper, because I didn't get PIMS, so I saw the NEET paper. That was helpful, and the papers were discussed, and they were discussed, the topics were discussed, not the questions, so you could guess the next question maybe which may come. That was useful.
And we were talking about it previously, that you enjoyed that Unplugged series and the EQ series. How was your experience with that?
Unplugged is a good initiative, because you understand the topic and not just the thing. You understand the entire topic. Suppose you do a breathlessness chest pain. There were 2 there. I saw them. They were brilliant. So you get a holistic approach of how to deal with chest pain or how to deal with breathlessness, rather than just one question of, say, heart failure. That is more important, and it is more USMLE focused sort of a thing, which is, I believe, Indian examinations are also shifting from concept learning and understanding than name of scientists and who did that,
I think last 2 years have been important for everybody to understand. Today our exams have, I think, significantly moved away from rote learning pattern. So I would take this opportunity to talk to future aspirants also. Please make sure that you don't think that I have to mug up years and names and everything, and I have to remember old questions. Not like this. It is a new set of question paper every year. You have to apply what you understand and do it.
That's what. And you can't understand everything in 1 year. You have to begin it from your beginning years only. And this is good idea, better idea.
And starting early also gives you that ease. That reduces the pain. Like, if I'm starting early, I can, I have the luxury of understanding things at my own leisure, and I have the luxury of understanding them to more depth. Because we are all intellectual human beings. You have to understand. So if I have to learn something incomplete, I feel uncomfortable. I want to spend more time to learn it to the core. But sometimes when you delay it so much, you come only, you start preparing last 3 months, then you can't actually take a deep dive. You have to quickly brush. So starting early is a very, very important buzzword today for any exam. Even for abroad exams also, I would say that if you want to go to America, start early. You will be able to shape up a better career if you start giving the exams early, planning early. Everything helps. Starting early is very, very important.
And not just exams. You understand the topics and you can apply them on patience also. Exams is not the aim. Ultimately, the treatment is the aim.
Yes. And plus, you gave us a good feedback about NEET, that PSM is important, obs and gynae is important. You talked about three parts, they're being unequal. Can you give us more insights about this NEET exam for a future aspirant?
Every topic is important, but I must say, don't devote too much time in medicine and surgery, because they are brilliant. As a subject, they're very interesting, but they don't yield much with respect to exams. That is what I believe. Give more time to Dharma. You can get almost 90% of the questions correct from Dharma, but you can't do it from medicine. It is very, very difficult. So give time to shorts and first year, second year subjects. Pathology is one subject which must be very, very strong, because if you don't understand pathology or don't appreciate pathology, you won't understand medicine, surgery, OBGYN or radiology also, because we have seen many radiology pathological correlation unplugged. So pathology must be understood very, very well. Pathology is one subject which is I believe the core of MBBS. Everything revolves around pathology. And
how did you manage to stay motivated during this entire journey? There must have been ups and downs. How did you manage?
Actually, I was doing internships, so I just came back from duties, and I went to duties, and that's how the motivation is. This is when I looked up.
You probably never got time to think.
Kind of.
So it's a very interesting point, but I want to add here is, like, a lot of students, they come to me that, sir, if I prepare for internship, it is so stressful, I will do it next year. They probably do not understand that stress comes when you are free. If you are working, there is no stress. Actually, you have to fill in study in the other empty point and do it in the first go, and then be stressless. You understand? So internship gives you this luxury that it does not allow you to think too much about negativity in the world. You have work, you have study, and there's nothing else happening. But afterwards, if you're totally free, only studying, there might be places when we are free and the negativity seeps in. So it's important to stay positive. Start. You have been able to do it with internship.
So and not only me, many people from my colleges have managed to get within 3,000, 4,000 rank, which is quite good. Considering internship year, many people there are around 10 people from my college, medical college, Kolkata.
So do you want to tell to future aspirants? Some of them would be interns listening to you, and their maybe peer group has told them it is not possible with internship. Do you want to reassure them?
I'm just telling. My college is in Kolkata Medical College, and around 10 people have scored within a rank of 4,000 in this year only, this year NEET. So it is impossible. Internship is very heavy in my place. So what you should do is, you should make understanding in your before internship. You should have your notes ready, and in the internship year, whenever you get some free time or whenever you come back home or hostel, you should read those notes and try to solve as many MCQs as possible. Don't go for any new resource which you have not used during your internship year. If you're preparing for NEET, don't use any new resource.
Because you don't have time to assimilate another one. You have already assimilated something, and now you're testing yourself. This is very, very beautifully put. And now I want to know that that's a very important thing for all the teachers. That any particular teachers that you remember today?
Arvind sir, I must say Arvind sir, and I mentioned already Partho sir. And I liked Ranjit sir's those posts which he used to give on Facebook, a bit of history and all. And these are and all the teachers, and I should mention you and Dipti ma'am as well. Obviously, all the teachers are they're brilliant.
We love teaching in Kolkata. I want to put it on air also, that we have one of the best students we have in our Kolkata. They would interact, they would discuss things, and they would if they are not able to understand, they'll ask again and again, and so that we also learn that, okay, I can explain again. And it's like we all prepare very hard to we work very hard when we have to do a lecture in Kolkata. You must have seen most teachers, they are like all pumped up.
All the teachers were exceptionally good, and sort of Jindal sir's notes is very good, I must mention. Dermatology,
very comprehensive. I think there's nothing outside the notes that comes.
No, it didn't come. And all the slides also, DVT, and the class also, he provides the image slides in the DVT also, he does it. All the slides were covered. Every teacher was very, very good. Everybody was very good.
And now, may I ask have you already thought of the branch that you want to take?
Sir, I may be taking up radiology.
That's
and maybe I will be trying in Delhi only.
Let's hope. I wish you all the best for that. And 2-3 technical questions to go. How many questions did you attempt in this NEET?
Sir, I attempted 281 questions.
And what was your final score?
932 was my final score. So around 240, 245 correct, and remaining wrong.
So reason I asked this question is so that future aspirants can get an idea on how people have attempted and what was the right wrong ratio in this exam, so that they can set their own targets. I believe this exam was doable, and he has gone aggressive. I've seen most of the people in the top 100, they have gone aggressive. They've done 280 plus. That is the right.
And I would like to add, if you don't know numerical questions, don't attempt them.
Yes.
If you know the number correct, you can attempt them, but if you don't know numerical questions, they're a bit dicey. You mostly end up on the wrong side.
Yeah, and it's like if something is factual or numerical, you can't really guess your way through. If it is like which of the following statement is not correct, and you are able to rule out 2, you should be able to go. You should go for it.
If you rule out 2, you answer.
Yeah, but usually in numericals, if you don't know, you cannot rule out anything.
You can rule
so
out anything.
That was my strategy as well. Whenever I have been giving my exams during my time, if there was a question where there were 4 values, I had no idea about it, I would leave it. Otherwise, I would not leave anything. So I believe that is a good thing that you have brought up, and that will guide future aspirants as well. And any particular motivational message that you want to give to people?
I am not a motivator. What can I motivate you? But I can just suggest one book which people can read to understand the history of medicine. I read a book called Cancer, the Emperor of All Maladies by Dr.
Beautiful
Siddharth
book.
Mukherjee.
Even I've read it. Beautiful book.
That
beautiful
book inspired me a lot. And motivational.
Gene also, I think. Did you read
Gene? I didn't manage to read.
Okay.
And that book I read, and there is a documentary like a film by 5 hours available in YouTube, I guess. That book and that thing motivated me. And what can I say? And these are the things which actually
love medicine. Once you love medicine, you will love reading about it. You will love studying. It's all like part of let's not forget that we entered this to become a good doctor. So exam was just a part of it. It is not just the destination. So when you look at it as a part of it, then you know that they are testing me because they want to ensure that I have adequately trained to go to the next level. So once we look at exams as a gateway to the next step, it becomes easier. And do not forget your final goal. That your final goal is to become a good doctor, and never forget a good doctor is also a good student. He has to learn lifelong. So do not look at medical education in the same light as you look at engineers and computer graduates. They are studying in a different way. We are studying where somebody's life matters, so we need to know a lot of things. We need to know sometimes statistics also. What are the statistics that this would go wrong, this would not go wrong, and we need to understand, because a lot of time you will have pharma company telling you some statistics. If you are not capable doctor, you will not be able to understand what they are saying and what is the catch. So it is good that it's very, very good to talk to you today. I really, really wish you all the best for your future. I'm sure you will make a great radiologist in future. I congratulate you again, and I congratulate your parents. I'm sure they must be very, very happy today.
They are.
Any message that you want to give to your family and friends today?
Thank you, everybody.
Everybody has been a part of his journey,
and also my friends who helped me during internship, because I skipped many duties, and many of my friends came forward and did those duties for me. I must thank them also in the last 1 month. So these are the people whom I like to thank. So obviously my parents and the people who helped me so much in the internship period, my friends in my college.
I wish you all the best once again. Heartiest congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.